if it's because you've watched so many videos telling you that every handbag collection needs to have a Chanel classic flap. No, it doesn't. Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to talk to you all about the Chanel Classic Flap, and specifically the 9 reasons why I have that you should not buy the Chanel Classic Flap. Now, that feels a little bit wrong, and it feels as if even saying those words is going against every fibre in my being, because I absolutely love Chanel. I love the House of Chanel and I love my Chanel Classic Flap. But this video is more about realism, and we have to be real and live in the real world whenever we talk about this bag, because this specific bag, this is the medium classic flap, is now around £7,000. £7,000 for this bag, for this Chanel Classic Flap. That is a huge amount of money. And if you can afford it, and if you love it, and if this is a bag that you've always wanted, then you should buy it. If you really love it, if you want to have it in your collection, if you have the money to pay it, if you are not offended by the price tag and the price isn't going to make you scared to use the bag, or isn't going to make you almost resent the bag because you paid that much money for it, then absolutely you should buy this bag. This is not a video about trashing the Chanel Classic Flap. I love her. She's not going anywhere. Andrea did a video recently and she talked about in one of her vlogs, why is everybody all of a sudden picking on the Chanel Classic Flap? And I commented on that video. I still love it, and I do still love it. So this is not about having a go at this bag, but it's having a realistic look at why you shouldn't buy it and the reasons why you shouldn't buy it. You should not buy this bag for these reasons. If you love it, buy it. Number 1 is you should not buy this bag if you want a practical bag. This is not a practical bag. As much as I love it, this is not what I would class as a practical bag. This has a double flap because it's the classic flap, which is a little bit cumbersome whenever you're getting in and out of this bag. It has this zip pocket here, which really isn't much use for very much, to be honest with you. It has the one space in the middle, the 2 little pockets, you can see my tissues in there, the 2 little flaps at the back, and this flap here. It's not very practical. The size isn't a very practical size in that it doesn't hold very much. The chain length is not very practical. The usability with the double flap is not very practical. So this is not a bag I would recommend to you if you're looking to buy a practical bag. Second reason I would not recommend that you buy a Chanel Classic Flap is if you want a bag to wear comfortably crossbody. Now, there are some shots on Instagram that you will see of people wearing the Chanel Classic Flap crossbody in the medium size or the small size, and it sits very high on them, but because of their body frame it looks really well and they pull it off. Personally, for me, the length of the strap for the Chanel Classic Flap in the smaller medium does not work crossbody. It sits very high. I want it to sit a little bit lower. It's right up here, makes me look huge, feels uncomfortable, doesn't really, just wants me to do this all the time, doesn't really work. The jumbo, different, it's very long. So if you're looking at a jumbo crossbody, you might find that it's actually too long, because it, on me at 5'1", it's very, very long as a crossbody bag. To make this bag work for me, and because I wanted this to have a longer strap drop, not only for the crossbody, the strap that was on this, when I wore it under my shoulder like this, sat way up here. It was very tight, it was very uncomfortable, I felt huge, didn't like it. So to make this bag work for me, I sent this bag to leather surgeons in America, and I had the chain extended. So mine now comfortably sits crossbody and comfortably sits under my arm. But if you want to buy this bag and don't want to have to mess with it, and don't trust to send it across the world to get somebody to cut the chain open and get it lengthened, then don't buy this bag. Third reason why you should not buy a Chanel Classic Flap in the medium size is if you want to carry a lot, because it doesn't fit a lot. Now, I'm a mini bag lover, as you can see. I love to use mini bags. Generally, I will carry my phone, a card holder, and a lip gloss and a car key, and that's probably it. This, whenever I bought this, I thought this was going to be a big bag in my collection. Now, I know it's not overly big, but my bags are generally very small. I thought this would be bigger. This doesn't hold very much. It doesn't hold a huge amount more than the mini. Now, it does have the lipstick pocket. You can fit in a smallish compact wallet and your phone and maybe a key clay, but it actually doesn't hold that much for a bag that looks like it is quite a decent size. So if you need to carry a lot, the Chanel classic flap in the medium size may not be for you. The jumbo may work, but the jumbo is even more expensive and the jumbo is quite heavy. So if you're looking at it to fit a lot more day-to-day stuff in, just be aware of that whenever you're checking that bag out. Number 4, and this is one that probably puts me on a rant, is do not buy this bag if it's because you feel you have to have one because it's a classic bag, or if it's because you've watched so many videos telling you that every handbag collection needs to have a Chanel classic flap. No, it doesn't. Every handbag collection has to have what you want it to have. Your handbag collection has to have the bags that you love, that you will use, that you want to have. Nobody on the internet can tell you what a handbag collection has to have. It doesn't have to have anything. It has to have what you love, and there's the rant. So do not buy this just because you feel to have a handbag collection or be a handbag enthusiast or a handbag lover that you must have a Chanel classic flap. Where did that even come from? Yes, it's a classic bag and it's a beautiful, beautiful bag if you love it, but you don't have to have it to have a handbag love. Oh, you don't have to have it just because you feel like you must have it to fill a gap in a collection. Buy it only because you love it and you're going to use it. Don't listen to anyone telling you that every handbag lover must have or every handbag collection must have. Nonsense. Don't buy it if you think you have to because it's classic. It's far too expensive to buy just for that reason. And you might find that when you get it home and how it sits, the strap length, how it's not that practical, you might actually find you don't use it very much. Fifth reason might be a bit controversial and some people might not like me for saying this. But don't buy it if you can't afford it. This bag is very, very expensive now. It's hugely expensive. Medium classic flap around about £7,000. Jumbo probably closer to 8, if not over 8. That's a huge amount of money for a bag that is not that usable. And the strap length's a bit awkward. You have to love it. You have to be a Chanel classic flap lover to spend that money. It has to make you happy. If you're buying it, even if you do love it and you're going to put yourself into financial pressure or you're going to be borrowing to buy it, it's a bag. I just don't think it's worth that if you can't afford it. Now, I'm not for 1 minute, because I know there's videos on the internet that will say that when people like myself, who are obviously fortunate when it comes to being able to buy handbags, say things like that, they're effectively saying that I deserve to have this bag, or I'm worth having this bag, or I am worth more, you don't deserve to have this. But I'm not saying any of that. Absolutely not. And if you've watched any of my videos, especially my other channel, you're going to know that that's not what I am like. What I am saying is if you're struggling to afford this, think very, very carefully on whether or not it's worth it. Sixth reason that I would say you should not buy the Chanel classic flap is because there isn't really an everyday size. Now, if I just lift one randomly, I personally love the Chanel Mini, but these are mini bags. Clues in the title. They're not actually classed as Chanel classic flaps because they don't have the double flap. I love them because all I really carry, card holder, key, lip gloss, phone. I don't carry much more than that. So these work for me, but they wouldn't be an everyday size bag for a lot of people. Like I couldn't take that bag to work unless I also have my Neverfull carrying all the other stuff that I need. Medium size, as I have said, is quite awkward. It doesn't fit a huge amount, and it's quite awkward as an everyday size bag. The jumbo is quite large. It's quite heavy. It's quite long in the strap. Now, it would work for me on the shoulder, doubled up, but it's still quite big looking, quite heavy to carry and quite long crossbody. So there isn't really a perfect everyday size bag that fits into that gap if it's what you're looking for is an everyday bag that you would use all the time. Now, your particular lifestyle has to be considered when you decide that. It may be that for you, this is the perfect everyday bag because you don't need to carry that much, or you don't have too many meetings or offices to go to, or maybe you don't work. There's maybe a lot of reasons why this would work for you, but for the vast majority of people, I don't really think there is a very set everyday size, and I think that's something you'd need to consider before deciding to buy this bag. Number 7 is that even at the price point this bag now commands, there can be quality issues. I say that as a Chanel lover. I say that as someone who will continue to buy Chanel because I be nuts. I say that as someone who gets excited going to the store. But I also say that as a realist because it can have quality issues. You will see bags and you'll see pictures people put on Instagram saying, can you believe this is on the shelf, where the flap is wonky, where the stitching doesn't line up, where there's maybe already marks on this, where the stitching doesn't line up on this, where things just aren't perfect on it. Now, I appreciate, and Super Jacob talked about this in one of his videos, that even luxury materials don't have to be completely durable or whatever. But whenever and that's right if you're talking about certain delicate materials. But when it comes to a bag like a Chanel Classic Flap in caviar leather, that one of its selling points is its durability, there can be quality issues. And you need to ensure, if you're going to pay this money, the version that you're getting is perfect, that you're happy with the version, that you're not going to be concerned about one tiny little piece of it that just isn't perfect. And I think that those quality issues are reasons why you should be slow to consider buying this bag, if those are something that's going to dampen your enjoyment of the bag. Number 8 is the price. The price. Now, a little classic flap. Luckily, I bought you quite some time ago and you did not cost me £7,000. Would I have paid £7,000 for a black classic flap? I don't know. I do crazy things. I don't know. I really don't know. That's a huge amount of money. And I think the price is a reason why, unless you really, really love this bag, you shouldn't buy a Chanel Classic Flap, because it's so much money. Think of what else you could buy for £7,000. Now, my husband would laugh if he watched that, because if there's something specific that I want and I love it, I will work towards obtaining it regardless of the price, within reason. So if this bag was £7,000 and it was the bag that I had my heart and soul set on and I loved and I really wanted and I didn't want any other bag, it wouldn't be worth my while buying other bags, because they wouldn't scratch that itch or fill that void, and I would still be working towards buying this bag. If you want it that much, nothing's going to stop you, and then you should buy it because you're going to love it and enjoy it and use it. If it's not that level of love and long-term relationship status, if there are other bags, just the price may be a reason why you shouldn't buy this bag. Number 9, the last reason why you shouldn't buy this bag is if you're buying it solely because of it being an investment. Now, I appreciate these bags go up in value quite a lot. For people, they can be investments. If I tried to sell this now, I would get more than I paid for it. That is the definition of an investment, so why am I telling you not to buy it just as an investment? If you come to try and sell a luxury handbag, it can be difficult, especially if you don't have an audience to sell it to. So you can have the stress of selling it, making sure the person that receives it is genuine, that doesn't lie and say they didn't receive it, that doesn't say it's fake, that doesn't say you sent them something else, that doesn't say it got lost when it arrived, that doesn't say any number of things that was not described correctly. You may also be selling it through consignment or resellers. They are going to take a percentage for their service, and it's their service to give. So they're going to take a percentage of what your bag sells for as their fee for providing that service. It does take some of the risk down, but you're paying out money of what you're earning. So that may eat into the amount of money you'd actually make and into the amount of investment it makes this bag. So it can be difficult to sell these. You can end up spending a lot of money and have a lot of stress and worry. So if you're buying these bags solely as the purpose of an investment and you don't have your own mechanism, channel, audience, your own consignment store to sell them, I think you should think twice about buying these solely as an investment, because although the price continues to go up, you need to have one in perfect condition, you need to have one that people want, and you need to go through all of those hurdles to be able to sell the bag. There are, in my opinion, better ways to invest, more secure, maybe easier ways to invest, but you'd need financial advice on those, than just in handbags. And I think if you're buying it solely for that reason, you really, really, really need to be cautious and think about it. Those are the 9 reasons why I think you should not buy a Chanel Classic Flap. And I'm really sorry because you heard all the words I just said, because I do still love this bag. I love this bag. If you love it, that's different. For those reasons, if you're considering buying one of these bags, I think you should consider those reasons as being reasons why you maybe shouldn't buy this bag. I hope this video has been helpful. If you are considering Chanel Classic Flaps, I hope you find it interesting and entertaining. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you for being here. Please take care, and I will see you again in the next one.